Hello, YouTube. This is Keith Kevin Ken. How you doing? Happy New Year. I'm doing this on January 1st, 2021. 2020 was a horrible year, but a great knife year for me. um, in 2021, while it'll start out slow, um, it'll pick up, and I'm wishing all of you the best of 2021. So I'm looking at all the knives, every single knife that Spyderco released in 2020. Fixed blade, super small blades, knife that looks like a dog, huge knife. All of the knives that were released in 2020 from Spyderco, and we're going month by month. I have already released videos for January, February, and March. Watch them on this channel. This is the kind of video I always wanted to do. I wish someone would have done. I really wish someone would have done when I started collecting, because there are so many knives. We're talking 70, 80 knives. It's just impossible to keep track of all of them. And so this could be a reference for you when you're checking out knives. April was a very good month in 2020 for Spyderco knives. Now let me talk about this. This is the Para 3 lightweight burnt orange with Rex 45. In my March video, I actually had the Para 3 G10, burnt orange G10 knife up there. It should have been this one. The burnt orange G10 knife was released in 2019. It's the only knife that you'll see that doesn't have my collector's club number on it, because I had to go and find one because I had sold mine. So this is actually released in March, but we have it in April because I promised to show you every single knife. Spyderco did a very good job of releasing a lot of these burnt orange Rex 45 steels. I'm so excited about it. Again, the only knife missing from the collection. These are all of the American-made line of knives from Spyderco. The only one missing is the Native Chief, which should be coming. I'm expecting a Native Chief Rex 45, which was announced by Spyderco, and also a sprint run Native Chief with carbon fiber scales. This Para 3 is another Rex 45, not part of the burnt orange. This was an exclusive with orange and blue scales. Most of these knives you can see on the Knife of the Day. Go check it out. You'll get all the details on the knives. I just want to give you a good feel for these knives. Here's another exclusive Para 3. So there are a lot of variations, as you can see. A lot of Para 3s, a lot of paramilitary 2s, a lot of variations, a lot of distributor exclusives as well. This with green G10 scales and another super steel, CTS 204P, CTS 204P steel. A lot of great super steels. You know, someone in the comments asked, what about all these steels? Do you think it's marketing? Are they necessary? Is it that the other steels are outdated, etc.? The other steels aren't outdated. S30V is an excellent steel. I don't care what anyone says. It's an all-around steel. You'll see here, we'll go through an S. The new version of that is S45VN steel from Crucible. There are a lot of super steels. They are great steels, a lot of strength, tough steels, a lot of edge retention. It's both. Spyderco has always been into introducing new steels. They're very interested in that. But also, you know, You can actually make 50 paramilitary 2s when you change out the scales as well as the steels. So it's a little bit of both. This is one of my best collections. They sell out quick. It's one of these mini collections. The great thing about Spyderco is in the bigger collections, they also have these small subset collections. I love those. I really do. I need to do a video on just all of the subset collections. These are recent exclusives over the past 2.5 years from St. Nick's Knives. This is the Mannix 2. It has this wonderful red G10, black hardware, black blade with CPM 4V steel. They have been all of the American-made knives except for one. The very first one was a Delica, and it wasn't, I forget the steel as well. It wasn't 4V. I forget what the steel was. Here's the Paramilitary 2 from St. Nick's, the exclusive. These really do sell out quick. CPM 4V steel. Just a wonderful knife. I love the red and the black. I just think it's a great combination. I think red, and there's a lot of them that have been released lately, just a nice color for a knife. This is the knife I talked about. You know, Spyderco in 2019, when they were talking about what they planned to release, they talked about their own steel, the exclusive Crucible Spy 27 steel that's only Spyderco's. But they also talked about the new steel from Crucible that replaced, you know, there's still S30V steel knives. There will continue to be those knives made. But what they're looking at is the update of it, and this is S45 VN steel. Spyderco wanted to get this out real quick. They released 2 knives. You'll see another one in the, spoiler alert, in the future. Another knife that they released with S45 VN. Said they wanted to get them out quickly so that people could try them out. Spyderco did another thing. This is a Paramilitary 2 with the Emerson blade. And what they did, which is pretty interesting for Spyderco, you know, a lot of, now they have done Tonto blade knives, but a lot of their foundation knives, especially the American-made ones, they have stayed away from things like Tanto blades. Well, you're going to see that come up this year, where they did a Tanto blade, 2 of them for Paramilitary 2, which were limited exclusives. And then they did an Emerson blade. Now, they've done Emerson blade with the quick opener, Emerson opener, before, but not a Paramilitary 2. S30V steel, but with the Emerson blade. And spoiler alert, there's a black blade version. You're going to hear that a lot. Spyderco really did a lot of black blade versions. A teal, lightweight Endura. That color stands out, doesn't it? Spyderco has released several knives in teal of late. I think there's the, I don't remember. But there's several of the Japanese knives. I think 3 or 4 in teal, but this is a big one, isn't it? The big Endura in teal. And that's really the chain. Oh, here's the other thing with this. It's not just the teal scales. It's S30V steel as well. I told you. There's more S30V. I love that Spyderco is shipping and has been over the past really 2 years in a big way, shipping American steel over to Japan, over to the folks that they work with in Japan on their Japanese knives. So you're starting to see over the past 2 years a lot of steel coming out of Japan on the Spyderco Japanese knives, not just the Japanese VG10 steel. This is the Endura Zume VG10 steel and the Delica Zume VG10 steel. But what makes these even more special is their glow in the dark. These are exclusive too. Spoiler alert, there is a Delica and Endura just like these with the same Zume glow in the dark, but with black blades and VG10 steel. So those will be coming. You'll get a chance to see those. Spyderco did a lot of glow in the dark. Not only those 4 glow in the darks, but they've done another 3 that are just with white FRN scales, and they glow in the dark wonderfully. I have a light in 2 lights in front of me, so it's probably not gonna work here. Nah, and the television on. But anyway, they glow very well. I'm not that much into glow in the dark knives, but I'll tell you, I left a couple on my desk and I stumbled out of bedroom to the living room and they were all glowing. I was very impressed. Very, very impressed. Here's one of the 11 new knives. You know, I keep talking about there's going to be 70 or 80 knives released or were released by Spyderco in 2020. Most of those are variations of knives. They did release some new models, not a bunch of them. But this is a real nice one. This is the Siren. If you can see, it's black, grippy, super grippy G10 with blue inside. So it's black and blue G10. It's super grippy because it was developed by a fisherman for fishing. That's why it has an LC200N steel blade, full flat ground blade. LC200N is it will not rust. It was developed in NASA. You know, Spyderco does a lot of knives with the H1 steel that doesn't rust. LC200N, see them popping up a lot. This is a very nice knife. Simple, thin, easy to grip, everyday knife that you don't have to worry about it rusting at all. Brand new in 2020. This is also a new knife in 2020. It was patterned off of, and I just forgot its name, one of my favorite ethnic series knives. I sold mine and then look how it dropped so fast that it bounces back up. It's so smooth. I sold mine and went and bought it again. I just forget the name. This is a smaller version of it with carbon fiber scales, super light, stainless steel liners, the compression lock. It's called the Watu, W-A-T-U, and this also has CPM 20 CV steel. It's so light. I love the small wire clip to keep it light. Right hand, left hand, tip up only. Just a really nice knife. I don't know if this was a sprint run or not. I think they're still available though. But that's one of my favorite knives from Spyderco of 2020. At the end of this, I'll do a 5 best knives of 2020 for you. 5 or 10 to kind of wrap it up. But oh, don't forget too, we're doing Spyderco, counting down every single knife from Spyderco as a great reference for you guys, so you can see all of the knives month by month. I release January, February, and March in videos, so you should check those out if you haven't. This is the Smock. Remember the Smock? We all couldn't wait for the Smock. It came out from Spyderco last year, and this is a variation of the Smock, and the variation Smooth G10. Spyderco does Smooth G10 better than anyone else. The original Smock was carbon fiber, I believe. But what it also did was upgrade the steel to CPM 20 CV steel. So a super great steel. And then you can imagine you received all these knives, the January, February, March. You get this great package of April knives. And then you get this. This was the last, this was in the last package. And I went, okay, that's a Ladybug with K390 steel. All right. And Spyderco hadn't announced what was coming up next or anything, but I went, okay, cool. This was strange. Well, they then released one of their catalogs saying what was coming up in the next quarter. And what was coming up was a collection of K90 steel. So not only do we have the Ladybug, we have the Man Bug. What else do we have? We have the Delica, the Endura. Here's what's special though. They also did, usually they do these Japanese versions of runs with new steel, and you'll get the stretch, which I love. I really love the stretch. I think people don't talk about the stretch too much. But in this case, for the first time, they used the Indela. So later on, spoiler alert, you'll see the Indela in K390 steel. And we didn't get it. It was announced, but we didn't get it in 2020. But it should come early, knock wood, in 2021. It's a Police 4 lightweight in K390 steel. That's special. And again, usually we haven't been getting the Indela, and especially not the big Police in these new steel packages, the Japanese steel packages. That's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see that when that's released. Yeah, as you can see, I'm still excited about Spyderco. There's a lot of knives to come. I'm excited to show it to you guys. I live with all these knives, but there are so many of them, and I put them in my cases, my Pelican cases, and now just going through and pulling them out. I pull them out every night before I go to bed for the next day, and I get excited again. I hope you're excited about this series. I hope you're enjoying it. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when a new video is coming. They won't be every day, but it'll come close. We've got a lot of these coming. Let's see. We did January, February, March. This is April. So we have 8 more months to go. I'm wishing you and your family all the best in 2021. I know for some of you, 2020 was super horrible, whether it was losing a job or a loved one getting sick or whatever. My feelings are with you and your families. I hope 2021 is a lot better. I appreciate all of you guys. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.